To the Middle East, and Yemen's Houthi rebels have claimed responsibility for a missile attack that targeted the Ben Gurion airport in Tel Aviv. It's just the latest in an escalating exchange of fire between the Iran-backed group and Israel. Journalist Trent Murray is in Tel Aviv with the latest.
Well, Chris, for the fifth night in the past 8 days, we've seen those incoming rocket sirens sound here in Tel Aviv after the Houthi rebel groups of Yemen launched that missile strike. Now, we know that air defence here was able to intercept the one overnight, but we do know that it also then follows some pretty bellicose language from the Israeli government around these rocket launches, threatening to hunt down the leaders of the Houthi. Now, we have seen overnight also that the Israeli Air Force launched a wave of airstrikes across Yemen. We understand dozens of Israeli fighter jets took part in that operation. They targeted the capital Sana'a, including its international airport, as well as energy facilities and, crucially, the port city of Hodeidah. Now, the Israeli government confirmed very quickly that the IDF was indeed behind those airstrikes, saying it was in response to those Houthi missile attacks on central Israel. And Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu continues to vow to hunt down the leaders of the group. But what we also know is that while the Houthi are claiming responsibility for this, they have said that they are doing it in solidarity with the people of Gaza, who have been under 14 months now of siege and warfare. And they've said if there's any sort of ceasefire negotiation, then they indeed will back off from these types of attacks. We understand those ceasefire negotiations are still continuing in the Egyptian capital, Cairo. No immediate breakthrough right now, but certainly many here are hoping that may be an opportunity to reduce tensions.
Now, Trent, we also know that Israel has struck regions in Syria repeatedly recently after the collapse of the Assad regime. And this morning, we're hearing from Syria's new leadership, in fact, on their hopes for a new relationship with Israel moving forward. What can you tell us there?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, almost within hours of ousted President Bashar al-Assad fleeing to Russia, the IDF began launching hundreds of airstrikes on what was effectively the remnants of his old military. The Israelis said they didn't want things like tanks, planes, missiles, chemical weapons falling into the hands of extremists, given the collapse of the government and the military there. We have some interesting comments now from the governor of Damascus, who has given an interview with NPR out of the United States, in which he has said that the new government of Syria is looking for good relations with Israel. He said it was natural that Israel feared what may happen after the fall of Bashar al-Assad, but he said from Syria's perspective now, they want peaceful coexistence. So look, undoubtedly comments which will be closely analysed here in Tel Aviv and also across the Middle East. Certainly the Israeli government has said they still have some caution about this new government that is taking shape in Syria. But certainly those comments would suggest it could be a shift in the course between the two countries compared to what we saw under the long-time regime leader Bashar al-Assad.
Journalist Trent Murray for us in Tel Aviv.